control. They have it with that Fever Barrage. The winner is here on top of that. But the dodge away, Chaz is going to be fine. Golden Cut at about half-life. Does a little bit of work onto Taos, but they're not able to get some sort of pick. But Chammy1 showing up, getting the pick off. And now Taos is looking to just stay alive, but he's going to be picked as well. Chammy1 with a double kill. Blacklist International with a nice little gank attempt. They have a little furball. They're going to try to take out Flukio. And now Zeppy is looking to join from the top side. Blacklist International, all 5 members, and they're going to continue on. Metal Wolf with a roaming gun, just trying to stay alive, but he gets picked off with that flaming palm. They want to go for Zeppy as well. Furball is on the chase, but it looks like Blacklist International at some point are going to hold their horses.
Oh man, Blacklist International is just proving to ACT why they are the champions of BKL now mid lane. It's going to be a killing spree for Chammy1. Just imagine, he was at the top lane, destroying the tower, went in for the double kill at the bottom lane, and even having a kill at the middle lane. Chammy1, a BKL Finals MVP, is all over the place.
Yeah, and look, if this is how, I mean, we've seen this in the PKL where the teams like to fight. This is probably the most entertaining way to play. I mean, inject it into my veins because I love it. There's so much action going on, and it's not even 7 minutes.
Yeah, so much hype coming in from both their teams, and what I really like is for ACT, they have this answer. I mean, they're not backing out also against Blacklist International, but at some point, they need a breather on this game. I really like that for Fluke is focusing now on having that split push. They need a breather again, just like what I've mentioned. Blacklist International is now on the lead. There's a lot of pressure coming in at the middle lane. For ACT, as early as now, we need to see that damage coming in from Metal Wolf with the Bloodseeker that he has.
Yeah, Chammy1 though completely zones out Zippy on this one. The top T2 about to go down. They have that control. Do they have that damage? Chaz taking a death precipice to the face. It looks like he's going to be fine.
Now here's the thing. We've mentioned about crowd control for ACT, but it's more like a double-edged sword. If they are not in position or not in the right position whenever there is a threat from Blacklist International, it's going to be hard for them.
Chammy1 taking a decent amount, the final frenzy, at least for now, but he's been locked down and he will be shut down. Flukio with a slam dunk taking him down.
Great play coming in from ACT, but at the same time for Blacklist International, they still have this potential to actually push back the players of ACT. Now ACT, slowly but surely, they want to somehow stretch the game for this one. It's just that they only have 1 tower destroyed for this game number 1.
Yeah, a quick pause in the action to see exactly what's going on. But, I mean, ACT and Blacklist looking to fight. They want to brawl. They want to go at it. I mean, it seems almost personal, flowing, right? You know? I love it.
I love the energy. Hi, Sagi, by the way. I heard you.
In game number 1, we thought it's like, okay, Blacklist is going to reign supreme in all those team fights, but it was really back and forth in that early game.
Yeah, I think you have the team fight at the bottom lane, something happened at the top lane, and ACT is just looking for those trades against Blacklist International. We can't really say that the Blacklist International is, I mean, we could say that Blacklist International is on the winning side, but at the same time, we can't really deny the fact that for ACT, they have this potential to actually win a team fight as long as they're able to hit those skills against the right target.
And it goes back to the regular season of the PKL Fall 2025 that Blacklist International, their complete streak, was broken down by none other than ACT Esports Club. It was true good team fighting and also good 5v5 potential. That is what exactly allowed ACT to topple PKL's one of the best teams there. So definitely coming into the series, we will want to expect ACT to repeat that success by challenging Blacklist in those team fights.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel for ACT, yes, there is a pressure coming in from the side of Blacklist International, but at the same time, they know how to work things around. I mean, even that play against Chammy1, they really forced that undying and at the same time just went straight for a kill. So as long as they're able to pick off at least a single hero for every initiation that they have, then they still and can potentially turn things around.
Like, I like how you point out the fact that Chammy1 on that 9 plume, which is Ambrosa, has been having a lot of success, especially that bottom dive.
Yeah, he's been able to kind of reuse that ult as much as possible, just staying alive. He's been able to out-sustain them and kind of catching them off guard.
Yeah, he was actually all over the place. I mean, you know, one moment of the game, he was at the top lane, and he was actually diving and taking the damage of the tower. So it's like you have a strong frontliner also that is not your roamer, with the Umbrosa, but also deals a lot of damage against the rest of the players. So it's as if you're tanking the damage, but at the same time dealing damage to the other players.
All right, it looks like we're going to be in the game yet again. ACT now, they need to find some way to get back in. They're down about 2K. They're going to look to start the Tyrant now.
And what's really nice for ACT is we can see that they want to take those objectives against Blacklist International. So they are able to secure that one out. Now for Blacklist International, slowly building up that momentum again. Chami1 has been the guy for this game. In terms of how they really play, it's as if you have a lot of damages coming in from the Ganonmo with the parallel or linear damages rather, and at the same time you have the support on Justice Agudo. So for ACT right now, as long as they give enough space for Metal Wolf on that barrage, then it's gonna be a good thing for them.
I mean, Taos has got to set it up, and I think that Blacklist International totally understand that. If we're gonna get caught out, we want one guy up front, and then they have the stuns or the damage themselves with like Dragon, just with those blades to kind of counteract him, right? So they understand what they could potentially do.
And you know what, for ACT, what's really hard is you've mentioned about Dragon. There's no really someone from ACT that could actually dive, given the fact that majority of the players of Blacklist International now has the items. So for ACT, the winning condition now is to somehow have a pick off on other sides of the map, probably go for a split push also, and prioritize on contesting the other objective taking. If they win any of those departments, then they can slowly have that push against Blacklist International. By the way, Just Chi is at 2-0-1, but look at Chami, 4-2-4. Perfect KDA for this game, even though he is the one sustaining most of the damage for this game.
Yeah, really, this is Chami1. This is his specialty, right? Yep. He's not only going to get the kills, but he's also going to make such an impact with when he does initiate. He's all the way in the bottom lane split pushing.
Yeah, that's true. And again, for Blacklist International, they're just slowly giving that information for ACT that they're willing to contest.
Oh, they're going to go in. Flukio actually takes this one. He's going to Blood Rage, and they're looking to turn this one. Zephy looking to just kind of go in. The Flaming Palm on point, but look at how, you know, Chami1 is all the way in the bottom lane, not even in the fight at this moment, but with Just Chi down, I don't think you can continue on.
Okay, so there's a lot of discipline coming in from ACT for Blacklist International. I'm just not sure if that was really the game plan, but good thing is that they were able to take a high ground tower against ACT, so at least they get that objective. And it's very detrimental for ACT. I'm just not sure how they will capitalize on having this Overlord, and they're now positioned on the Tyrant. So 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes into our game. Yes, Blacklist International is on the lead, but ACT is making their move against the Blacklist. You have Sapien, even Taos, giving their
the flash to control. They actually have them locked in, and that is that combination. The moment you're under tower, they don't even care. With that winner is here, that's an easy kill.
Winter is here for ACT. This is the strength of their hero composition. They're now slowly building that momentum against Blacklist International. And this is not new to them. They're used to longer games. They're used to that late game mechanism, and for Blacklist International, they need to somehow sustain that aggression that they gave during the early game and even mid game. So as long as Chami1 is able to do that split push, then they can potentially end this game. But looking at the things right now, ACT is now positioned around this Tyrant.
Yeah.
Blacklist International, they also have the information.
Yeah, the Resplendent Revolver just kind of, I mean, he's all the way on the outside at this point. Flukio doing a good job of tethering in the furball with that winner. The Thunder Revolver with that Fever Barrage is not enough to take anyone down. Astral is left in no man's land. Chami1 slicing him down, looking for the rest, and Taos is on the run. Chami1 and Just Chi looking to go, and they take him down, and that will be an ace.
An ace for for Blacklist International against ACT. They will take down the tower at the middle lane. This might be it for them. The only player that will be alive is going to be Flukio and Zape to defend at their pace. I think this is it, Holler.
Yeah, I think this is going to be it. There's no way. I mean, 5 more seconds till Flukio, and Blacklist International won off an amazing team fight.
What a great... Even winning that final skirmish against ACT, yes, there were moments of brilliance for ACT. It's just that the damage is just too massive for Blacklist, and they know their step 1, step 2, and their final step on winning that game number 1.
By observing that game number 1, I do want to give props to ACT. They challenged Blacklist International very well in a few aspects. We were talking about how Taos needs to be a force to push on those big moments here. Yes, his Liang found those big targets on towards the likes of Just G, on towards the likes of Dragon, but in the end, if no one is man-marking our boy Chammy1 down towards the bottom side with that split push, with that flank, it's super duper hard for the entirety of ACT to even win in those team fights.
And you know what? With the Ambrosia pick of Blacklist International, it made perfect sense to counter the potential of having the Princess Frost and then the Yang. Yes, there was a kill against him at the middle lane, but at the same time, if he is able to sustain that in a longer manner, it just means that there is a lot of space for the rest of his teammates. So with the undying of the Ambrosia, there is not much of a threat coming in from the rest of the players of ACT because you have someone that will soak in all the damage coming in from ACT's lineup.
That's why it's very important as an Ambrosia player to know how and when to use your ultimate. If you press it, you don't get the revive. If you don't press it and you die, you get the resurrection here. So exactly, that's why Chammy1 in that game itself, the way that he was utilizing the ultimate was actually very smart.
Yeah, very, very smart. And he was always up in front. And like you're thinking Ambrosia, kind of a squishier, Clash laner, but when you have that secondary life, it doesn't really matter. I think that they're going to be very happy with the results of this one.
The results are definitely plentiful for the side of Blacklist International as they do make their mark in this best of 5. Let's check out the item builds on what exactly went down here. Chaz, beautiful KDA though, 1-1-11. So on that Chaz, on that Dolia, perfect game for him.
Yeah, that's true. And even on the other parts of the game, or with the KDA, we can see Chammy1 at 5-2-8 all throughout this game number 1. And it feels like for the team, he has been the anchor as to how Blacklist International will rotate around the map. He's given a lot of information for them and sometimes takes some of the heroes against ACT, but looking at the hero composition of ACT, the struggle was after the combo from the PF and Liang, what's next? You don't have any crowd control. You don't have anything that you can give against Blacklist International. So we've mentioned about being a double-edged sword with this combo, and this is part of their power picks as their team. It's part of their strength. And at the same time, having the Charlotte, having even the Ogran, and if there is somehow of a delay on their layering of skills, it's going to be hard for ACT. And it was very evident during the almost 3 minutes of the game. Yeah, and it was around 3 minutes.
And to put Chantal's word into a visual aspect, check out this gold lead and this gold chart that has been taken over by the side of Blacklist International. It was going smooth and steady in towards the early game. Fights were back and forth between ACT and Blacklist, but once Chammy1 was conquering that silent, even if you are ACT, you secure the Shadow Overlord, but the base, that tier 3 is not going to come back.
Yeah, Chammy1 is just so good though, right? I think the impact that he had, always up in front, doing that damage, but staying alive. Yes, you had that, the catch from the Liang, but you would just always get away.
Yeah, I think it was one time. It was just one time. They were able to stop Chammy1 on that combo. But aside from focusing on Chammy1, it's focused on the junglers. We have a Flukio and a Just G. A lot of differences, given the fact that actually Flukio had a better gold per minute, but it's all about converting this gold and even the farm into objective. That's where Blacklist International actually won that game number 1. And just look at the participation in terms of kills. And it feels like for Blacklist International, they're playing as a unit, having a Chammy1 up front, having those linear damages coming in from Golden. As to why we've mentioned about him most parts of the game, he is also our MVP, Chammy1.
Fantastic performance here. The team was building and playing around his tempo here, which resulted into this Game 1 smooth victory served on a silver platter for the side of Blacklist International here. Holler, in this case here, I want to point out that this player, what do you think of him? What can ACT do to really stop him?
I mean, they attack him in the draft. They attack him in other ways, especially in the lane. They try to get the numbers advantage, but Chammy1 cannot be controlled, right? I don't think that ACT did a good enough job of just preventing what this Ambrosia was going to be bringing. It was a great later pick, just really well played by ACT.
Yeah, here's the flash from Chammy1. Actually, I think he was able to survive this one out and even focus on dealing more damage against the players of ACT around that one. So it's more of him having that mastery on the Ambrosia and the juggling against them. And I think it was around 5 minutes wherein Blacklist International has given a lot of pressure at the bottom lane. This was a double kill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was just, look at how he was diving the tower. I mean, he was such a menace. He was just like, wherever you were, he was gonna be, and he was gonna constantly go. And yeah, Tao's had some great controls, but the rest of the team, they didn't have the damage to follow up on it.
And this was a final field play coming in for both Chami and Joshi to really clean up the remaining kills on towards the side of ACT, securing themselves a beeline straight towards the crystal for the side of ACT's hopes here. So, game number 1. That ended pretty decently, although it was a very scrappy early game coming in from both teams. But in terms of the experience, in terms of the macro game, it's looking pretty clean and consistent coming in from Blacklist International.
Yeah, definitely for Blacklist International, it was a slow push. I mean, they know the picks, the strengths rather, of their hero composition. They worked around it. And for ACT, yes, they're very confident on this type of hero composition. This is what they normally use in most of the tournaments. It's just that for Blacklist International, since they have the information, they already know how to counter it out.
Yeah, it seemed more of a standard draft by ACT, so I think that most of the teams are kind of aware. We know how to kind of deal with this Augur and the Marco Polo, make sure that they have a bad time. But I think Blacklist International, it's a new wrinkle, right? The Umbrosa one, I think it kind of caught them off guard. ACT really didn't have any answers on how to deal with Jamie 1.
And recently, towards the draft itself, a lot of teams have been picking up the Umbrosa here, but they haven't really found success with that pick yet. But today, Chami 1 showing pretty good prowess on towards Umbrosa, the Night Plume. And I gotta say, I'm very excited to see, out of the entire training time that they have prior to the KIC, what do they have in store for us? More Night Plumes, more Yangjians, Twilight. What are we gonna see going into longer formats like the BO5, like the BO7?
Yeah, definitely for Blacklist International, they always want to innovate. I mean, there's this thing wherein they try majority of the heroes if it's effective for them. So Coach TG has been great on that department. So for ACT, it's something that they might want to try coming into this game because, as Holler mentioned earlier, we normally see these types of heroes for them. So what's going to be the X factor to actually have that destructive force for Blacklist International? Because Blacklist International is very systematic, right, as a team. And given that they have this chance to get heroes that they don't normally use, being systematic and unpredictable is going to be crucial for ACT.
It's going to be great for Blacklist International. Again, 40 chests in that draft, picking things that they're not really familiar with, which is going to be key. But, I mean, it's great against ACT in the first matchup, but how do they continue that sort of, 40 chests going up against teams that they really don't have the same familiarity with?
I think, based on what Chantel has mentioned and based on what Holler has explained, if we were to boil down into a few specific points, it is for ACT to draft a early to mid-game strong, brawling team composition. For the likes of the Pei, Byron, those hard engaged sword styles, right in your face, force the team fight. That's exactly what ACT needs to break the equilibrium here and to really minimize the gap between the macro advantage that Blacklist International has over ACT.
Yeah, that's true. And given the advantage, it feels like for Blacklist International, they have the advantage coming to this game. Oh, okay. So it's still going to be ACT on the blue side. I thought it's going to be Blacklist, but anyway, Blacklist is still on the red side. So for ACT, they were able to take those strong picks for them. Blacklist International, we are not going to see that Yangjian combo with the Dolia, but they still can use the Yangjian. But ACT will ban out the RE, still consistent on this one. Blacklist International, they have the option to either ban Pei, heroes like that, and it's gonna be Aoyin. So prioritizing rather on those farm laners again.
Yeah, taking them away. I think that's something that they want to do because you make it a little bit more uncomfortable. You're kind of thinking like, hey, maybe I attack Chami 1, but he has such a deep hero pool that he's kind of hard to pick out. Like, you have so many different ones, probably not where you want to go, but it's more about the place.
Target tournament so far out of 2 days here. We're at our 7th series in the KIC 2025, and the marksman, especially Long and Arlie, has been the priority here coming in for a majority of these teams in the tournament itself.
Oh, okay, that's true. So, biggest question for Blacklist International, are they going to get the revenge for this draft? Or they will focus again on heroes that is on Clash Lane? Mayin is still open.
Oh,
so Mayin has been chosen here. And this is also Chami 1 specialty. So good thing for them. Probably they want to go for a jungler for Just Chi. So that is the route that the Blacklist International could go to.
There is still the likes of the Luna here because just now ACT has expended the Liang, and without the pay on towards the board here,
Today
this
is a
pick
bad
will
day
be
for the enemy.
very dangerous for the side of ACT because Just is known to be one of the better Lunas in the PKL.
Yeah, I mean, there's no hero that could actually stop the Luna, not unless this is just a crazy thought. What if for ACT they will get the heroes like Daji?
That's possible. That's possible.
It's possible, but it's a crazy thought. But ACT will get the Fluborn, and at the same time, Byron. I believe for Byron, it is a good hero against Mayin. It's just that in terms of crowd control, definitely Mayin has the upper hand.
Exactly, and talking about crowd control, the Floorborn tank being locked in for the side of ACT Esports Club serves as a decent counter against Just Chi on that Luna. Why is it? Because of the triple knockup in his kit.
Yeah, and it's all about that control, right? Being able to lock down the Luna, plus you have the Storm Strike from the Byron, so it's all about trying to make sure you mitigate what he can do. Now, ACT on the other end, they haven't picked a farm laner, they haven't picked a roamer, or potentially mid at this point, depending on which way they want to go. So, like, you don't want to be too squishy and you don't want to get caught out.
At this point, it feels like for ACT, they can go for Ladies Sun. Not sure about Concert U, but yeah, for ACT, that is the potential farm laners that they can get. So for ACT, they will ban out a hero. Even Chano, actually, a good... Yeah, thank you, Sagi. Actually, Sagi pointed that out, and I almost forgot Chano. But yeah, it is a good counter against heroes that is more on the aggressive side. At least you have those pets in front of you. As to why Blacklist International, they will ban out the Chano.
It makes a lot of sense, right? Because if at the end of the day, the reason why you pick Direnjie on the hands of Golden Kite is to really claim control of that farm lane, allow Just Chi to be relieved of pressure from those pesky invades, right? So removing the channel, one of the decent lane matchups into the Direnjie makes a lot of sense for Blacklist draft.
You know what, with the Lady Zhen pick for Blacklist International, it feels like for Blacklist, they will focus on having a Just Chi, like really get most of the resources early game, because I consider Lady Zhen as a utility mage.
Correct, that's correct.
Not very item dependent and not gold dependent. So as long as there's a clear, okay. Interesting.
A Garo being hovered for the side of ACT.
Is this the first time that we will be seeing it?
That's correct. I believe this is the first Garo we will be having in the Honor of Kings International Championship 2025, and they are pairing it up with a Zhang Fei and Floorborn tank, the double bodyguard to protect Metal Wolf on this late game marksman.
So I really like this Garo pick here. I mean, that silent arrow kind of creates this giant zone. Luna wants to be casting all the spells, plus you're going to see Chammy1 diving in with that Mayin, and if he's not able to cast any spells, it's a little bit of a more difficult situation. So great pick here if they're able to kind of continue on. But in terms of the lane matchup against Direnjie, how is that one?
I think it still favors the side of Golden Kite if it's an all-out 1v1. But if in terms of range itself, Metal Wolf's Garo, the piercing arrow, really has the range advantage if it's in terms of like poking and prodding and running away, lowering down the HP bars coming in for the side of Golden Kite is the name of the game for Metal Wolf here. But Blacklist International, they double down and pick up Chaz, Liam Po here. So Chaz and Chammy1 will have direct access towards the backline here. So, in this case, ACT's game plan, protect the President, protect Metal Wolf. Blacklist game plan, find Metal Wolf.
Yeah, definitely for ACT, Metal Wolf is going to be the X factor. Having Garo, you have the Sphere of Purity, which is going to be their edge against this here composition for Blacklist International. Now, Blacklist International, aside from finding Metal Wolf, they need to find a way also so that Just Chi will really farm on the early game and have the damage spike transitioning from early game to mid game to find Metal Wolf.
Yes, so Metal Wolf positioning will be a crucial factor here coming in for ACT Esports Club's success. And at the very least, for the side of Blacklist International, to take care of Just Chi in that early game is one of the key factors here to allow them to scale comfortably towards that early to mid game factor for them to take on those big team fights.
My concern right now is that the ACT lineup is all very tanky, very aggressive. You can kind of invade the enemy jungle a little bit on the earlier side, and when you have a Luna on, like with Justy on that, and you're taking away the blue buff, he's gonna really struggle. He's not gonna be able to get his farm.
To your point, right? If it's a Floorborn tank, not the best of a level 1 invade that we keep talking about here, so that will relieve a bit of pressure on towards the shoulder for the side of Just G here. But I'm no pro. We leave it towards the pro to play the game itself, and we leave it to both Chantel and Holla to bring you the action of this game number 2.
All right, thank you so much, Zagi. As we go into the third matchup, game number 2, and it's a Blacklist International going up against ACT. Is this draft good enough? Is Just G able to pop off on the Luna?
You know what, it will depend on as to how ACT will execute with this hero composition that they have. But good thing, I think, for Blacklist International, they know that there is a potential invade from ACT. I mean, Chaz is just following both the U1 and even Zhang Fei on this. Now, ACT, there is going to be a slow build-up. Having the Flowborn on this game. So Flowborn is really on the tanky side. So it feels like there might be like early game to mid game slow rotation from ACT.
Yeah, it might be a little bit slow, and I mean, it's all about kind of getting Flowborn tank going as much as possible,
But
right?
it's also their strength.
Yeah, it is. But you know when Just G's going to be going in, they need all of their stuns to somehow lock him down, right? Because if he gets controlled, obviously you can take down the Just G.
Yeah, that's true with the Luna. So as long as they are able to again stop the jungling pattern of the Luna, then for the side of ACT, they can win the early game. Because the early game is the strength of Blacklist International. Welcome back, Sagi, by the way.
I am here again because we have a bit of a technical difficulty here, but let's break down exactly what Chantal has mentioned. If we talk about the Luna, yes, on paper, it's one of the best heroes with unlimited mobility as long as you get the refresh here. Hence, why on the hands of Lukio, you see the Flowborn tank. Properly speaking, a Flowborn tank can provide up to 5 CCs in one single rotation here. So if it's played right, the Luna can statistically not move at all for about like 3 to 5 seconds.
And that's all you need, right?
Exactly,
to kill him,
yeah.
right? So again, it really comes back to this positioning. If Just G were to get controlled, then you have Chammy, one with that Mayin to potentially save him. You have other outs like the Lian Po as well from Chaz. So you have ways. It's really going to come down to the execution here.
Yeah, that's true. And now that you mentioned about the crowd controls that you have, I think for Blacklist International, given the fact that there is a threat against this Luna, they might want to focus on other lanes, probably have Chammy one again to deal that zoning potential, to give information for Blacklist International. They need to be one step ahead so that they have those guards or they have someone to guard up their jungler.
So now, since we have a bit of time here, we talk about the winning condition for both teams. So, for the side of ACT Esports Club, it is, in fact, to really limit the side of Just G on that Luna and then provide Metal Wolf enough space to really pace towards the game. And for the side of Blacklist International, you want this Chammy one and Chaz to really take on those backline team fights.
Yeah, if they're able to do it. But it looks like we're back into the game here. Blacklist International poking and prodding onto Taos, getting him a little bit on the lower side. But again, it's all about Meta Wolf. How does he just get his farm?
Yeah, for Metal Wolf, it's a good thing that Taos is actually with him on the lane, but there is a quick reaction from Chaz. So this is going to be the story of the game. Probably more on the reactive side is Blacklist International, but the middle lane, I think it's just gonna be pokes. For both, as much as possible, you wanna exhaust those resources prior an objective taking. But interesting enough for Blacklist International, they are on the lead, a very little lead in terms of gold.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's kind of all you need, especially in the early
Very
game.
little,
Yeah, but I mean, even with Just G, he's level 5 over Flukio's level 4. It's a little one, but now he's looking to be aggressive. Taos has to leave him Saber. He gets pulled back by Chammy 1, and it looks like the Silent Arrow is just zoning more than anything else. Blacklist International are going to disengage.
Okay, Blacklist International, here is the gameplay. They want to focus on, they want to have that 5v5 brawl again, but good thing for Zape, he is focused on staying on the lane, having the resources as much as possible, but Chammy 1 is very fast also on reacting around the map. So for Blacklist International, yes, they want to take those initiations, but at the same time, ACT is ready for that. They have the sustain, they also have the support with this U1 of Astral, so as long as they are able to build that slow push kind of a playstyle, then ACT can have this Flowborn at the pick. And speaking of the gold that we have, okay, Just G's on the lead in terms of gold against the Flowborn. but it is given since this is a Luna.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, right? Just how much damage are they able to kind of get to the Flowborn? Are they able to kind of slow siege, right? Blacklist International will have to take the fight to them. They have to try to take things away because, again, you don't want to give space to a Flukio or Metal Wolf.
Yeah, that's true. And we mentioned about Metal Wolf. I think they have the information that, especially for Taos, they have the information that Chaz and Dragon is here.
They're looking to go.
Nonetheless,
First ram actually just goes on, finds Taos with that play of the Ocean of Tears, but they don't have any follow-up because Taos is just a tanky boy.
Yeah, they're just focused on taking this objective also against ACT. So things had the turnaround at this farm lane, bot lane.
He's going to burst ram to safety, and they were trying to get their own ambush. Their gank attempt. ACT unsuccessful on that one as well.
You know what, for Blacklist International, they're just pushing and pulling away, just giving this idea for ACT that, okay, if you want to dive, you have players here at the bottom lane. And just look at this, very masterful is how Zappy and Chami 1 brawls in for the laning. Now ACT, again, they have this potential to take all the objectives because they're very fast.
Tyrant getting a little bit low, and it looks like Flukio is going to pick this one up, and yet another pause. Let's see what the action is going to happen on that one, but that was so close in terms of that steal, but in the end, Flukio looks like he's got that one.
Yeah, Flukio is very masterful on taking the objective. And if I'm not mistaken, he's top 1 in terms of the players at the jungler department at PKL in terms of objective taking, Overlord takes, and even the Tyrant takes. So Blacklist International, it's as if that they are the ones reacting at some points of the game. Now ACT, they need to put more pressure on Golden Kite's lane because that's the only way for them to have a Metal Wolf that space that he needs.
Yeah, create a little bit of space and put that pressure on because you're giving Metal Wolf is your win condition. He's going to be the one bringing the damage, so to speak. The rest of the guys are a lot of the control. If Metal Wolf goes down, you're going to have a bad time. You're not able to team fight.
Team fight is the essence of this game as we talk about here, but to really break down on what we really mentioned so far in towards the draft itself, yes, Metal Wolf is also an inconsiderable factor in the success of ACT Esports Club because why is Garo so good in this draft? Because one, it's a very good tank trader, but at the expense of not having any single mobility on this Garo.
Yeah, but for this girl, I think the piercing arrow is going to be the biggest strength for this. I mean, later on, if he is able to take those items, then it's going to be hard for the Lian Po, even for the Mayin to be up front. And you also have Luna as a jungle, so it's not the utility jungle that we've mentioned, it's more on the assassin. So having a basic attack and skill heal 50% against majority of the players, it's going to be hard for Blacklist International to sustain. So we keep on mentioning this, but the X factor for the side of ACT is how they will give that support for Metal Wolf to do those free hits and even have the items.
Now, I like the fact that you raise up the point that there's so much carry potential coming in for this Garo if you hit the item power spikes. But to Blacklist points as well, if there is so much engage being factored by Chami, by Chaz, by Just G, all these backline access, that puts a lot of pressure, especially on towards ACT's job to really protect this Garo properly and comfortably.
Yeah, Metal Wolf, I feel like he's only safe in the fountain. He just needs to stay there so far back that he's not going to get jumped up. Because, like, again, to your point, they have 3 guys that just jump the back line.
Yeah, you have always 3 players. Even now, in the early game, you always have 3 players on your lane. And even though you have the Shangfei support you, it's still hard for Metal Wolf. So, yeah, but I will support what Holler said. Yeah, it just says that for ACT, it's going to be hard for them, but you have the timers. As long as they are able to go beyond that mid-game, I mean, early to mid-game, then it's going to be easy for them.
Yes, early to mid-game, let this girl scale into 4 to 5 items. That's exactly when she will be the most powerful hero in towards the game. Potentially even out-damage some of these early to mid-game picks that Blacklist International has drafted for their composition here. So, I do think that, at the very least, ACT has pretty good bodyguards. You have the Zhangfei in towards the roam, and you have multiple CC in terms of that floorborne tanker. So, I'm not really worried for Metal Wolf. It's really how both of these 2 teams carry out the execution execution for their drafts.
Yeah, I'm worried for Metal Wolf. I know you might not be, but I think that he's very, like, you have a lot of guys, a lot of bouncers that are looking to protect you. You have a lot of control, CC, all that's great. But if they jump on you, Garo is going to be so squishy, right? Because he has to bring all the damage, has to have those items. He's not looking to survive himself. It's more about dealing the damage.
Yeah, that's right. And the crowd control that ACT has isn't that long to actually stop and burst out a Luna. So aside from the heroes that we've mentioned against Garo, we also have to consider that with the damage and crowd control, let's talk about the damage that the Luna can deal in a short period of time versus that time duration that you can stun and deal damage against a Luna. So once you dive and you're able to burst down the Garo, then there's nothing left for ACT because your main damage dealer is going to be the Garo all throughout the team fight.
That's why in this matchup itself, Fluke.io plays a pivotal part in man-marking Just G here. If this Flowborn tank can disrupt the flow of the ultimate refresh, that could be pretty good news for ACT fans and PKL 4C fans.
But I feel like Chammy 1 is just able to go, right? Like, Flowboy can only choose so many targets, unless they're, like, grouped up. So I think that Blacklist International, if they initiate properly and they do it from all different angles, where it's really hard to kind of get those AoE stuns to really do that damage and that control, I think you're going to have a much better time.
Yeah, definitely for Blacklist International, they can focus on having those flanks against ACT. So right now, ACT, at least they're looking good. I mean, there's a pressure on Metal Wolf's lane, but at the same time, other departments around the map, they are prepared for any threat from Blacklist International. It's just that once they group up, it's going to be hard for them. So as long as there's someone on the side, probably it's going to be Fluke should be part of the front runner of ACT. Could be Zappy on the side doing the split push.
Maybe Zappy, yeah.
Yeah, Zappy is a perfect one to do the split push.
Yep, Zappy on that Charlotte will play a different role as well because it's like, what, 4-man strong on towards the front side, and then Zappy will be on towards the side lanes with the Byron, potentially look for those big Storm Strikes flash engages. Maybe that's the entire game plan that may be proposed for the side of Honor of Kings here. But hey, we have a bit of technical difficulties here. Do bear with us for this short moment. We will head on to a short break to figure out what exactly went on and bring you better Honor of Kings action in KIC 2025.
Irrelevant, I turn daylight into medicine. I'ma stay alive, cause it's heaven sent. But if fake it, I'll be keeping it right. Can you tell me, are you feeling alright? Oh, some people fall, some people falter. I've seen it all, they could not alter our rise. As we come for the prize, we'll make them see it. We're gonna bring them the light. We'll go off like a live wire. You and me like a wildfire. I feel it in my bones. I hear it echo through the choir. There's something greater in my
Back to the game itself, we are back at KIC 2025 after a short break here. Hopefully we will get into the game as the technical difficulties might be resolved in just a brief moment. Very sorry that we cannot go into the game, but hang on a moment, we are getting it fixed.
Everything's got to be perfect before these teams, right? I think that's
Just
gotta
like
be
you
key.
guys.
Aww.
You guys are perfect.
With you, that we are
Okay.
perfect. It's a
Alright.
trio that counts.
Yeah, well, okay. I was expecting like a follow-up, and then that's like, you guys have technical difficulties too, or something like that. No, you're not gonna go that far. But it looks like we're finally back into the game. I mean, it was only 4 minutes into this one, but it looks like Chammy won, running for his life, gonna be knocked around, and Zippy might have gotten him, and he lets him go in the end.
Okay, Chammy 1 is still alive after those skills hit from ZP. Anyway, bottom lane almost goes to be taken down by Blacklist International. So a lot of pressure coming in from Blacklist. And just look at Golden Kite focusing on dealing damage on that. We have 3 players from ACT focused on defending Metal Wolf's lane, because we've mentioned about Metal Wolf is going to be the X factor or maybe the insurance plan of ACT coming to this game. So far, things are looking good for ACT if they're able to sustain or defend a majority of their lanes. And now Just Chi is at the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing fine. I mean, the net worth is actually slightly in favor of ACT. That's where they want to be. They just don't want to give up first blood, any sort of, potential objective at this stage. It is still very early. It is anyone's game.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just not for ACT. Yes, they're able to defend, but the Blacklist International are able to do damage mid lane.
Oh, they find a decent amount, and Chammy 1 might have been gone a little too far, and Astral's going to pick up first blood. ACT will take that one for free.
This is the crowd control that we've been mentioning with the Flowborn. I mean, Chammy was able to escape ZP, but with Lukio's Flowborn, it's going to be hard for him. Now, Taos has the
Oh, the
information.
umbrella outburst, he set it up when he's got 3 members. Dragon is going to be looking to be killed, and they do end up finding it. The unending sorrow from Astral, keeping him alive. Taos has got to be a little bit careful. He's a little on the lower side, but they get Dragon.
Good take for ACT. I thought for Blacklist International, there's going to be a counter play, having the bring
Oh,
of the
Josh, he gets a
outburst.
series stab, fighting onto 2, but he's not going to be too much.
And right now, Blacklist International a bit struggling on those disruptive set of plays in middle lane again.
Yeah, but
They're
Justy
not
just
stopping.
going in back and forth, and they find Zeppy. Oh, he's got the leaping saber, or the force field suppression, excuse me. He does stay alive in the end.
And after everything that has happened, and now Metal Wolf is able to take down a tower at the bottom lane, but there is a fast reaction from Blacklist International at the middle lane. Just Chi.
Oh yeah, getting bounced around. Justy needs to be a little bit careful. He's gonna be smited on, and they do find Justy. He's stuck around, found out, could not get to safety.
Okay, every play that ACT deals against Blacklist International is being effective. Now for Chaz, this is where he should step up as much as possible. He needs to be one step ahead against ACT. So there's no much information for Blacklist International as to where ACT will come in. And if we look at the items still, or even the gold, yes, Just Chi is still on the lead in terms of that department. It's just that you need that conversion. How are you able to take advantage of this lead that you have if ACT always has the crowd control? They are always grouping up, and at the same time you have Astral on that support, very efficient for ACT. But again, Blacklist International, if they're able to stretch out the majority of the areas of the map, it's going to be a great thing for them.
Yeah, but Justy, that dying on that point, everything, tempo, the whole rotation, everything gets shaken up. Things are a little bit crazier. It's going to be way more difficult to kind of get back into the groove. He needs to continue to farm and just outclass Flukio in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And now, given the fact